The New World Summer update is here, and I think it's pretty good. And the update is coming first thing tomorrow morning, basically 5 AM Pacific time on July 28th. Roughly that's equivalent to 12 PM noon UTC. Now I'm not going to read the patch notes that much here. I'm actually going to show you what you're going to get on the PTR. So let's have a look. So one of the main things this update is the Summer Medley Fair. Now there's quite a lot of activities to do, but basically in a sense it's quite similar to the winter event, except with different activities. If I show you on the map you will see these icons, these like this. You can fast travel to them once you've unlocked them, and this is where you will find, you know, the main guy. So there's a guy called the Maestro up there. He'll give you a quest chain. That quest chain, for example, will have you playing musical instruments, which is a new trade profession, which we'll get to in a minute. There's also a vendor. He's basically also a vendor, so I'll show you some of the rewards you can get. So like typically with these things, these reputations, you need to get your reputation up and you need to get these tokens. It's very much like the faction vendor, right? And all the way at the top, you can get emotes, you can get fishing trophies, you can get all different kinds of stuff, and some gear score 600 stuff, so it's actually quite decent, right? Well, it's the pattern, not the gear itself, but yeah, a lot of fun activities. To get your reputation up, there's various different ways. I'm not going to like give you a guide here. One of the ways you can do it is to dance in these circles. There's also these fishing hotspots that you can go and get. There's also basically, if you remember the Christmas trees from the winter update, there's an equivalent of those in the towns. So you want to go and like get your gifts from them. And with this, one of the ways you can do it is to play music in these like specific hotspots, right? When you do the quest. And music is its own trade skill. So yes, we have the summer event, and this is a temporary event that you're going to want to participate in and have fun with and all that kind of stuff. But what will remain after the summer event is the musical trade skill. Obviously, you need to make sure you've got a musical instrument. You'll get some of this from the quest, but you can also craft them. There are actually 5 musical instruments that you can get: a guitar, a flute, a mandolin, an upright bass, and the drums. Now, the instrument itself doesn't really matter that much apart from for the music that you're playing, as in if you're playing a drum piece, obviously you need a drum, and obviously you will only get the attributes from that instrument, not all of them, if that makes sense. But you level up music as a whole, so if you just played the guitar, you'd still be able to play like the drum bit, if that makes sense. One thing to note as well is that you'll actually get a little bit of buffs when you perform the music. They're not amazingly strong or anything like that, and they actually get stronger the harder the music is, which is really cool. And you can see here some of the buffs that you can get. So look when gathering and stuff like that. Really cool. And then when you're not in a restricted area, you can go away and you will press F5. I press F5 and then it'll be like, hey, pick a song and stuff like that. So I'm going to press song selector. Maybe I'm going to do this one because I've already done this one quite well. You can then pick what instrument you want to play. Obviously you need to unlock certain songs as well. That's a whole thing in itself. By default you'll have maybe like one song, I can't remember exactly. You'll get another song when you do the quest, and then you can think of this basically as like Guitar Hero or any of those rock band kind of things. So let's say I pick this one. I've only found the musical sheet for the drums here. You'll have to find the songs for the other ones. You'll find them in dungeons, chests, all that kind of stuff. You can buy them. All kinds of good stuff, right? Okay, I'm not going to actually play the whole song, right? But let me just show you how it works. You know, oh look, you need to be careful. There are like arrows on these. At first I was a little bit confused, but there are actually arrows on the letters themselves as well. You know, I'm going to stop here, but you get the gist, okay? It's Guitar Hero, basically. And you can see this now has made its way into the actual standard like profession. You now have music. I'm level 6 right now. Okay, cool. So you can play these music at these like bug swarms that will appear on the map. So there's one here. That's another way of getting reputation. But keep in mind that music is now its own trade skill. So that's staying, but the summer event isn't. And I'm not going to go through the whole summer event. Like, people have done detailed guides. If you want to check that out, do it. I'm just going to play this when it comes out, which is tomorrow, as I said. But the summer event is definitely something you want to do just for fun, cool rewards. For sure, get involved in that. And then the next big part of this patch is that there's going to be a new expedition. And this is called Barnacles and Black Powder. And it is found in Cutlass Keys, right at the bottom here, right in Cutlass Keys. At the minute it's mutated, but you come here and you can get into the expedition, right? Now, one key thing to note is that this actually isn't going to be available on the launch day of this patch. The standard version of the expedition is going live 1 week after launch, and then I believe the mutated version is going to be 2 weeks after launch. Well, actually I think it's 2 weeks after the launch of the dungeon, so in 3 weeks, my apologies. And with that there are some new mutations, but it's basically just a new expedition. There's cool loot in it. It doesn't extend the gear score or anything like that, it's just fun to do. Now, alongside the release of the dungeon, so in a week's time, we're going to get the group finder. I find it a little bit weird that it's not just coming with the patch and then we get the dungeon, but it is what it is. Now let me just very quickly show you the group finder. I have made a video about this, but you know, it is what it is. The group finder can be arrived at by going on the map and going to the dungeon that you want to go in, and you can just click it and you can do view expedition, then you can click find group. I'm not going to go through everything here, but if there was lots of people like already in a lobby for this expedition, it would be visible here. If you wanted to create one, then you can create one. You can set the gear score, you can set the level, you can set what you're looking for, you can give it a name, set it your own role. Do you want voice chat? All that kind of good stuff. The group finder is actually really cool. It has been crashing the PTR, so a bit of me wonders if that's why they've been delaying it a week, but apparently this is coming when the dungeon releases, which is in a week as far as I can tell, because it does say that this feature will release alongside Barnacles and Black Powder. Now, along with this patch, one of the big things that a lot of people have requested is coming, and that is the removal of expedition orbs. You're going to be able to do 15 regular expeditions a day, as demonstrated here, and it's 25 mutated in a week. But they're free to enter, there's no cost, so that's a positive change. Why they're even bothered time gating it, it might be because of bots or something like that, but that for a lot of people is a big change. Oh, somebody's literally just popped up that they're looking for a group, which is good. I'm not going to join it because I don't have time, I'm trying to make this video. But you could see if I wanted to join it, I would click this, I would click request to join, and they'd see my gear score and all that kind of good stuff, right? Really cool. As I said, I'm not going to read the patch notes to you, but there's some that I can't really demonstrate very easily, so we'll actually have a look. One of them is the instance wars. That basically means that wars and invasions, as far as I can tell, are going to be on their own server. It doesn't actually mention invasions, I don't think, but I'm thinking they're probably on the same instance as the wars, because they're now making it so that the fort is never locked, essentially. That should promote a few like open world skirmishes. Now, one thing that is a little bit hard to show you in game is that basically a lot of perks have changed, like 150 perks have all been changed and reworked. This is going to promote like a lot of different items being actually sort of good, whereas in the past you sort of just wanted a select group of perks because they were the best. Now that's going to change. Your overall loot quality is going to be better. You're going to get less greens and blues, and you're going to get more purples and epics. Well, purples and epics are the same thing. More purples and legendaries and that kind of thing. There is a system in game called a perfect salvage. Now this is a really cool feature. Basically, as you salvage stuff, you have a chance of getting a perfect salvage, which I've not got one yet. I've still not got one yet. I'm holding on, because once we actually get one, we'll see one. I'll keep that Tempest materia in mind, because we're going to show you what that is in a minute. Still not getting actually any perfect salvages here. Okay, I'm not getting any perfect salvages. When you get a perfect salvage, you're supposed to get like armor scraps and stuff like that. I'm just currently not getting them. What I am getting is the materia, and I'll explain materia in a second. I'm just going to salvage some more to see if I can actually get a perfect salvage, right? I'm just not getting any. Anyway, oh, there we go, perfectly salvaged. Infused armor scraps. Basically, you can salvage stuff, and that infused armor scrap you can use in a variety of different ways. You can use it essentially as a gypsum cast, because there's like new types of gypsum now using those scraps. That's really cool. And you can also use them in crafting as well to like increase your armoring and that kind of stuff. They're actually really cool. The perfect salvage system is really cool. Now the materia that you saw, which I'll scroll down to, basically this lets you craft items that you would have got from that dungeon. So for example, if you wanted the Fury Warhammer from Lazarus, if you have enough materia, you'll just be able to get it. You do that just at a standard like weaponsmithing or armoring station in town. Okay, cool. It's sort of like a bad luck prevention. Now, trade skills overall are generally being made a little bit easier. I'm not going to read these to you. If you're interested in that because maybe you want to level one of them up, then check out what you can see on screen. So these are the things that are in the towns. If you want to come and get sort of like your presents, you'll get gypsum as well as tokens. Really cool. They're in every single town. Here is what the materia looks like at the stations. Here I'm at the forge. And you can see if I had 5,000 of this materia, I would be able to craft Fury. Yes, it's 590 to 600, but obviously if you upgrade that with Umbral, you'll make it legendary, so there's not really a problem there. It's just going to cost you a few Umbral shards, but that's what it looks like. It would require quite a lot of the materia, but then if you do that dungeon a lot and you're really trying to farm it, you know, you'll probably get that. One really cool thing that they've added, which is only small, at the trading post, there is now this filter button, and this is absolutely a lifesaver for anybody who's messing about with the trading post. You can filter by maximum price, gear score, know whether or not you just want a single attribute or not, whether or not you want 2 attributes and which 2 attributes you want. Just really good. And on here, if you click the perks, you can add perks, and then there is a search bar, which is really nice. So let's say I wanted resilient, you can just search it, add that as your perk. Really good. Only like a minor change to the UI, but it's actually just super really handy, and I'm really happy about it. Honestly, there is quite a lot in this patch. If you go on the page that I'll link to, where it gives you like everything that's in here, it's absolutely massive. Like if I just keep scrolling, we eventually make it to the end. Obviously, I'm not going to go through all of that with you. I don't think it'd probably take me about an hour. But yeah, really good changes. So the things that I've just shown you are the main things. We're going to get the summer update. That's going to be live straight away. Get in there, play the music, do the quest, fish your fish. You can actually like catch some fish, put them as trophies in your house. Just really cool, fun stuff. I really like that kind of stuff in the game. And then in a week, we're going to get a new expedition. And then 2 weeks after that, we're going to get it mutated. That expedition does look fun and cool and all that kind of stuff. And along with that, we're going to get the group finder, which I'm very excited about. No cross-realm for all of you who are paying attention to that and want that. That's not coming with this patch. And then everything else that I showed you, which is sort of small, but pretty important. Just overall, I think this is a really good patch. I personally don't think this is going to like win back loads of players or anything like that, but it definitely pleases the current player base as far as I can see. Let me know your thoughts about this summer update. If you want to support the channel, do consider becoming a YouTube member. Like and subscribe though. Have a most beautiful day. Goodbye.